There's no games Wednesday. We move to Thursday, where we've got Memphis and Tulane, AAC action. Tulane, 14-point home favorites, 55.5 the total. I think from a situational perspective, it's probably you have to lean Memphis at the very least, plus 14 in this game. This is only the second time Memphis has been an underdog this entire season. The only other time was at Florida State when they were an underdog and they won that game outright against the Seminoles. Now, the Seminoles are a very bad football team. We know that. And Tulane's probably a tougher opponent. Not maybe. They are a tougher opponent for Memphis than Florida State was. But for Tulane, and they're a much better team. And Tulane's offense against that Memphis defense, which hasn't been good down the stretch here, like Mensa and company could chew up that Memphis defense here. That's the concern. But if you're Tulane situationally, you've got the AAC championship game next week. You're already in it against Army. We already know that's going to be the AAC championship game next week. Are you really going to go full bore if you're John Summerall and this Green Wave squad in this kind of a meaningless game, quite honestly? Because it's the AAC championship game that matters next week against Army. Win or lose is not going to affect them one bit here in this game. Now, it is their final home game. I think this would be a better bet against Tulane if they were on the road at Memphis for this game. But they are at home, final regular season home game, senior night, the whole deal. Maybe that has Tulane focused, and they're certainly good enough to win by 2 touchdowns or more. But I still think I have to lean Memphis. I lean over as well. And keep in mind, even though Tulane is 3-1 the last 4 meetings against Memphis, none of those victories have been by more than 2 touchdowns. All of them have been 14 points or less, the margin of victory for Tulane in those games. So I got to lean Memphis, but the problem is I don't love this team. I definitely don't love them defensively. They're good on offense. Hennigan, Mario Anderson's a great running back for them. They're a great offensive team, but as usual, they're a suspect defensive team. And it is still a big coaching advantage, in my opinion, C-Mac. I'll take John Summerall every day of the week, including Sunday, over Silverfield for Memphis, who I don't think has done a great job with this program, quite honestly. What do you think here, C-Mac? Memphis, Tulane.
Yeah, they're just better coached, and they're better on both sides of the ball. They're just more balanced, Tulane, on offense. And this defense has been good. I mean, 9 points the last 3 weeks. I know it's Charlotte, Temple, and Navy. But still, Navy shut them out, 6-3. It's been very, very, very good. Even Rice has played a little bit more unders. They only gave up 10 points in that one. This is what we talk about for years. Babano, you already hit on it. Memphis playing all these bad teams, favorites all the time. Never lay points with them. Take them when they've been a dog. They've been pretty good. When they've had points in the last 2 or 3 years, they've cashed. I already hit on the Florida State, which is really rough here, but I think this is too many. Not at 2 touchdowns. I think it's too much. I think Hennigan can hang around, and Memphis defense looks better now. It's both these teams play some really bad football teams. You know what I mean? Like the rushing numbers for Memphis' defense has been pretty good. If you look at it, 17 overall, 108 yards, but Tulane, like you were talking about, could just run all over them. But I think 2 touchdowns is too much. I think Memphis, after I rag on them and want to fade them all the time as a favorite because they don't cover, give me them as a 2 touchdown dog here.
I mean, situationally, it couldn't line up better for Memphis because of the fact, is Tulane really going to go all out, full gusto here with the AAC championship game already locked in for next week against Army? And keep in mind, that's triple option. And that Army, say what you will about how they got shelled by Notre Dame, it's still tough to practice and prep for them. And is John Summerall already practicing this week leading up to this Memphis game? Is he already focusing on Army? I would think so. And probably putting a lot of practice time in on Army for the AAC championship game, maybe not as much on Memphis here for this week. It's definitely something to factor into the handicapping equation here when it comes to this game for Thursday night. All right.